He became the world's youngest self-made billionaire at just 23. But the real story isn't about the money. It's about the massive risks, failures, and the powerful vision that ultimately changed our world forever. To uncover the full journey and the lessons you can apply to your own life, subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our new stories each week. Mark Zuckerberg. It is a name that almost everyone in the world knows today. He is, of course, the creator of Facebook, a platform that has become one of the most powerful in our modern world. But do you know the story of how he started? How did a young boy, maybe a lot like you, grow up to change the world in such a big way? Mark Elliott Zuckerberg was born on May 14, 1984, in a town called White Plains in New York, USA. He grew up in a family that truly believed in the power of education and the importance of hard work. His father, Edward Zuckerberg, was a dentist, and his mother, Karen Zuckerberg, was a psychiatrist. They were parents who encouraged their children, especially Mark, to explore new ideas. They wanted him to learn as much as he possibly could about the world. From a very young age, Mark showed a special and deep interest in computers. He was not like most other children who played with toys or spent all their time watching television. Instead, Mark spent his hours learning about computers, understanding software, and figuring out how to make things work. The quiet hum of the machine was a familiar sound in his room. He was very, very curious, and he loved to experiment with new ideas on the screen in front of him. When Mark was a child, he attended Ardsley High School in New York. And although he was very smart, he was not the best student in every single class. Some of his teachers thought he was too quiet and that he didn't speak very much. But this didn't bother Mark. He knew that he was a little different from the other kids, and he already had big dreams inside his mind. Even though some of his teachers did not fully understand him, he was incredibly talented in computer programming. At the young age of just 12 years old, he created a program he called ZuckNet. It was a simple chat system that he made just for his family so they could all communicate with each other inside their home. It worked a little bit like an early version of the instant messaging apps we all use on our phones today. Can you imagine that Mark was just a teenager, but he was already creating things that were far ahead of his time? It was a small sign of the big things that were to come. After creating ZuckNet, Mark's interest in programming only grew stronger. He began building other things like simple games and software tools. One of his early projects was a music player, very similar to the kind of apps we use today on our phones to listen to our favorite music. Mark was learning so quickly, and he was applying his new skills in ways that most people his age simply couldn't. But he didn't just spend all his time working on computers. Mark also enjoyed playing sports and spending time with his friends. However, his true passion was always technology. He felt a pull towards it. He knew he wanted to make something big, something that could change the way people lived their lives. After high school, Mark was accepted into Harvard University, which is one of the most famous and respected schools in the entire world. At Harvard, he decided to study two things: computer science and psychology. And it was here in the historic halls of Harvard at the age of only 19 that Mark came up with an idea that would change his life and the world forever. While he was a student at Harvard, Mark noticed that many students were using the internet to try and connect with each other. But the ways they connected were very limited. He saw that students needed a better, easier way to communicate with each other and to share things like photos, their thoughts, or status updates. So Mark came up with an idea for a website that he first called the Facebook. This website allowed students at Harvard to create their own personal profiles, share information about themselves, and connect with other students in a way that had never been done before. It was a true social network, and it very quickly became incredibly popular on the Harvard campus. At first, the Facebook was only for Harvard students. But Mark and his friends Dustin Moskovitz, Eduardo Saverin, and Chris Hughes soon realized that they could expand it. They could open it up to other universities. The website grew faster than they could have imagined, and soon students from all over the country wanted to join. Before long, Facebook was born, and the world would never be quite the same again. Mark then made a huge decision. He decided to drop out of Harvard to focus on Facebook full-time. This was a massive choice, a very big risk. But Mark believed in his idea so much that he was willing to take that risk. He moved to California, where he and his team continued to work on Facebook. They worked day and night in a small office building, something that they hoped would soon change the world. Mark Zuckerberg's decision to leave Harvard and give all of his energy to Facebook was one of the most important moments in his life. At first, Facebook was just a small project with only a few thousand people using it. But Mark and his friends believed in it so strongly that they refused to give up. The early days of Facebook were difficult. They were full of challenges. Mark didn't have a lot of money, and he certainly didn't have all the resources that big established companies have. But he had something even more important. He had passion, and he had determination. Mark was willing to do whatever it took to make his idea work. He worked very long hours, often staying up late into the night writing code and fixing problems with the website. It felt like every time he solved one problem, another one would appear. But he never got discouraged. He never lost hope. Slowly, step by step, the website started to grow. It wasn't long before students from other universities were asking to join Facebook. And soon after that, people all over the United States were using Facebook to connect with each other, to share pictures, and to send messages. Mark and his team saw the incredible potential, and they decided to expand the site even more. As Facebook grew, it started to attract attention from important people in the business world. In 2004, a man named Sean Parker, who was famous for co-founding the music-sharing site Napster, became involved with Facebook. Sean had a lot of experience in the technology industry, and he helped Mark turn Facebook from a student project into a more professional and serious business. Of course, Mark's success did not come easily. As Facebook became more popular, it also started facing new challenges. The company had to deal with competition from other social media sites, like MySpace, which was very popular at that time. But Mark was not afraid of the competition. Instead of backing down, he focused all his energy on improving Facebook, on making it better, faster, and easier to use than ever before. Mark's dedication paid off. Facebook's user base grew incredibly quickly, and in just a few short years, it became the most popular social media platform in the world. People from all different walks of life were joining Facebook, from students and teachers to business leaders and celebrities. Facebook had become the main place for people to connect with their friends, their family, and even with strangers from different parts of the globe. In 2007, Facebook took another huge step forward. It introduced Facebook ads, which allowed businesses to advertise on the platform. This was a game changer. Suddenly, Facebook was not only a place to connect with people, but it was also a powerful tool for companies to reach millions of potential customers. Mark was now running a business that was worth billions of dollars. But Mark didn't stop there. He kept working hard to improve Facebook, was adding new features and making it more user-friendly. One of the most important things he did was to create a mobile app for Facebook. This allowed people to use the platform on their phones anywhere, anytime. This was another big breakthrough. More and more people started using Facebook on the go, and the number of users grew even faster. Mark's next big move came in 2012, when Facebook purchased Instagram, a photo-sharing app that was quickly becoming very popular. At the time, Instagram had millions of users, but it didn't have the same resources or money that Facebook did. By buying Instagram, Mark was able to bring even more users into the Facebook family and expand his company's reach even further. Instagram's success was just one example of Mark's business genius. He understood that in the world of technology, things are constantly changing. He knew he had to stay ahead of the competition. By buying companies like Instagram and later WhatsApp, Mark was able to strengthen Facebook's position in the tech world for many years to come. But Facebook's success wasn't just about money. It was about the way it changed how people lived. Social media had become a part of everyday life. People were using Facebook to stay in touch with family members who lived far away, to share the small and big moments of their lives, and even to make new friends. Facebook had become more than just a website. It was a social movement. Mark had created something that was truly changing the world. As Facebook grew, Mark faced many new challenges. The larger the company became, the more problems there were to solve. In 2014, Facebook faced very serious issues with privacy. Some people were concerned about how their personal information was being shared and used by the company. Mark had to make some very tough decisions to make sure Facebook could continue to grow while also protecting the privacy of its users. Despite these challenges, Mark never lost sight of his ultimate goal to connect the world. He truly believed in the power of the internet to bring people together, and he worked hard to make sure Facebook continued to do that. Mark faced many critics and doubters along the way, but he always believed that his mission was more important than any negative comments or failures. He was always focused on the bigger picture. One of the most inspiring parts of Mark's journey is how he handled failure. In the very beginning, not everyone believed in Facebook. Some people thought it was just another website that wouldn't last very long. Even when Facebook was small, people doubted that it could grow into something huge. But Mark didn't listen to the doubters. He knew that if he worked hard enough and stayed true to his vision, he could make Facebook the most important platform in the world. As Facebook continued to grow, Mark's leadership also grew. He had to learn how to run a massive company, how to manage thousands of employees, and how to make difficult, high-stakes decisions. He was no longer just the founder of Facebook. He became a global leader in the technology industry. People started to look up to him as a role model for innovation and success. Mark also became deeply involved in philanthropy, which means giving back to society. In 2015, he and his wife, Priscilla Chan, made a stunning announcement. They said they would donate 99% of their Facebook shares to charity over their lifetimes. They started the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, a project focused on improving health education and social equality around the world. Mark and Priscilla's goal was not just to make money, but to use their resources to make the world a better place. This was a powerful reminder that true success isn't just about personal wealth. It's about making a positive impact on the world around you. Today, Mark Zuckerberg is one of the wealthiest people in the world. His net worth is in the billions of dollars, and he makes money from Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and other business ventures. In just 1 second, Mark makes thousands of dollars. In a minute, he can make millions. Every single day, he earns money from the millions and millions of people who use Facebook watch ads and interact with content. But money isn't everything for Mark. What matters most to him is his vision. His mission was never just about making money. It was about changing the world. Facebook has now connected over 2.8 billion people around the world, and it has become a platform where people can share their lives, learn from each other, and grow together. Mark Zuckerberg's story is a powerful reminder that anything is possible if you believe in your ideas and work hard to achieve them. He came from a small town, faced many great challenges, and even dropped out of college. But he changed the world because he never ever gave up. Mark's story teaches us that no dream is too big, no challenge is too hard, and no idea is too small to make a difference. If you have a dream, you must work for it. Stay focused, and remember that you too can change the world. After achieving such incredible success with Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg's story didn't just stay about business and technology. His values and how he balanced everything with his growing career became just as important. In many ways, his personal journey is as inspiring as his business journey. Mark's personal life became a big part of his public story. Despite being one of the richest people on the planet, he remained grounded and focused on the things that truly mattered to him. He never let the incredible success go to his head. He tried to stay humble, always working towards his greater mission to connect the world. But during this amazing journey, he also found something very special: love and family. In 2003, when Mark was still a student at Harvard, he met Priscilla Chan. She was studying at Harvard Medical School, and the two of them quickly became close. They discovered they had a lot in common. Both were very passionate about technology and about making a real difference in the world. But their connection went much deeper than that. They shared a genuine interest in helping other people and were both driven by a strong sense of purpose in their lives. Their relationship started slowly. Both of them were very focused on their studies and their futures. They kept their relationship private for a long time, but it wasn't long before people could see how much they cared for each other. Priscilla was not just Mark's partner. She became his greatest supporter, both in his business and in his life. She stood by him through all the ups and downs of Facebook's difficult early days. Mark has often said that Priscilla's belief in him, especially during the tough times, gave him the strength he needed to keep going. They both believed in something bigger than themselves, and these shared values helped to make their bond even stronger. Priscilla was always there to offer advice, wisdom, and a steady, calming presence when Mark needed it the most. She helped to keep him focused on his mission, and together they became an unstoppable team. In 2012, after many years of dating, Mark and Priscilla decided to get married. Their wedding was a very private ceremony attended only by their close family and friends, right in their own backyard. It was a simple but beautiful celebration of their love and commitment to each other. After their marriage, Mark and Priscilla continued to work together on different projects, especially through their Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. Through this organization, they focused on improving global health education and social equality. Their shared mission of changing the world only became deeper as they worked side by side. Then, in 2015, they announced something incredibly special. They were expecting their first child. This news was a very big moment for Mark, for Priscilla, and for the world. Mark had become one of the most influential figures in modern history. But his focus began to shift. Becoming a father was a game changer for him. It made him think more deeply about the future, about what the world would look like for his child. He thought about how he could help leave a better world for the generations to come. Mark and Priscilla's first daughter, Maxima Chan Zuckerberg, who they call Max, was born in December 2015. The birth of Max was a huge turning point for Mark. It made him think even more deeply about his mission to improve the world. As a father, he wanted to do everything he could to ensure that the world his daughter grew up in was better, safer, and more connected than ever before. As Mark's career continued to soar, he reached an amazing milestone. He became the youngest self-made billionaire in the world when he was just 23 years old. At that age, Mark's net worth surpassed $1 billion. This achievement was a huge moment in his life, but it was not the money that mattered most to him. What mattered most was the feeling that he had created something that was truly changing the world. At such a young age, Mark was already one of the most powerful people in the world. But he didn't let this success make him arrogant or complacent. He stayed humble, and he continued to work tirelessly. In fact, instead of taking time off or resting on his achievements, he focused even harder on improving Facebook and making sure it remained relevant in a world that was constantly changing. Now in the present day, Mark Zuckerberg's net worth has skyrocketed. He is worth many, many billions of dollars. But his incredible wealth is just a byproduct of his bigger mission to connect the world and make it a better place. His success is the result of years of hard work, of learning from his failures, and of never giving up on his vision. Mark Zuckerberg's life story is not just about business success, it's about innovation, bold decisions, and the powerful drive to make a meaningful impact on the world. After Facebook became a global giant, Mark did not stop. He constantly pushed the boundaries of what was possible in technology, always thinking ahead, always trying to solve new and interesting problems. In the years that followed Facebook's early success, Mark began looking for ways to keep the platform fresh, engaging, and connected to the changing digital world. Today, Instagram is one of the most popular social media platforms in the world, with over 1 billion active users. Mark recognized that people also needed a simpler, more direct way to communicate, and WhatsApp filled that gap perfectly. Today, WhatsApp has more than 2 billion users and is one of the most widely used communication tools across the globe. In the same way Mark embraced the idea of virtual reality and augmented reality. These were two technologies that were still very new when he first began exploring them. In 2014, he made another bold move. He bought a company called Oculus, which specialized in virtual reality headsets. Mark saw the potential for virtual reality not just for playing games, but as a new tool to create new ways for people to connect. Imagine a world where you could have a meeting, travel to a new country, or experience a concert, all from your own home, all in virtual reality. Mark's vision for the future of technology was always beyond what most other people could see at the time. While Mark's success might seem almost inevitable now looking back, it certainly didn't come without its challenges. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Oculus were all massive successes, but Mark had to fight through countless obstacles to make those businesses thrive. Mark Zuckerberg's ultimate dream isn't just to have people connect on Facebook or Instagram. His vision goes much further than that. He wants to create a metaverse. So what is a metaverse? It is an interconnected virtual world where people can work, play, and interact in entirely new ways. Mark has described the metaverse as the next big evolution in the digital world. Imagine a world where you can go to a virtual office for work, meet your friends in a virtual park, or visit a museum, all from the comfort of your own home. The metaverse would bring virtual reality and augmented reality together to create an immersive experience that is unlike anything we have today. To make this vision a reality, Mark is investing huge amounts of money in virtual reality and augmented reality. Facebook's parent company, now called Meta, is dedicated to building this new digital world. Mark believes it will take a long time, but he is committed to the process. He believes that the metaverse will ultimately change the way we experience the internet and connect with each other. In 2021, Mark made a huge announcement. He said that Facebook, the company, would be changing its name to Meta. This was to reflect its new focus on building the metaverse. This was a very bold move, and it was a signal that the company's future wouldn't just be about social media, but about creating a whole new kind of internet. Mark's vision is clear. He wants to build a digital world that can help people feel closer to each other, even when they are physically far apart. Throughout all of his endeavors, one thing has remained constant: Mark Zuckerberg's commitment to innovation. Whether it's building the next big social platform, investing in new technologies, or changing how his company operates, Mark has always been at the forefront of the digital revolution. He is never satisfied with just being successful. He always wants to push the envelope, explore new possibilities, and challenge the way things are done. Mark doesn't just want to be a leader in the technology industry. He wants to shape the future. And that commitment to shaping the future has made him one of the most important figures in the world today. Mark Zuckerberg's journey is not just the story of one person's rise to success. It is a story of possibilities, of dreams turning into reality, and of making the impossible feel possible. From the very beginning, when Mark was a young boy in a small town, he never let his circumstances limit him. He believed in his ideas, he trusted his vision, and he was never afraid to challenge the world around him. Now, as one of the most influential people in the world, Mark's story teaches us some of the most powerful lessons you can ever learn. So let's take a moment to look at what we could learn from Mark's life to inspire and motivate you wherever you are on your own journey. First, believe in your dreams. When Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook, he didn't have all the answers. In fact, he was just a student with an idea. But what Mark had that many other people don't have was belief. He believed that connecting people around the world would make the world a better place. So believe in your ideas, no matter how big or how small they may seem. You don't have to have everything figured out at the start. What's important is to take that first step. Your dream could change the world just like Mark's did. Second, don't be afraid to fail. Throughout his career, Mark has faced many challenges. He made mistakes, he faced criticism, and he even dealt with some very serious setbacks. But the most important lesson Mark taught us is that failure is not the end. It is just a stepping stone. In fact, every failure is an opportunity to learn to grow and to become stronger. Don't be afraid to fail. Instead, embrace your mistakes and turn them into lessons. The most successful people are those who fail but never ever give up. Mark didn't just build Facebook, he built a mindset. A mindset that says, no matter what happens, I will keep going. And you can do the same. The road to success is rarely easy, but it is those who stay determined who finally reach the finish line. Third, work hard and never stop learning. Mark Zuckerberg is famous for his incredible work ethic. From his late-night coding sessions as a student to constantly learning new things about technology, he has never stopped trying to improve. One of the things that makes Mark stand out is his hunger for learning. He reads books, he speaks with experts, and he is always on the lookout for new knowledge. He knows that to keep growing, you must keep learning. So whether you want to be successful in business, in your career, or in your personal life, never stop learning. You may not be perfect at everything you try, and that is okay. But always be curious. Always seek to grow and improve every single day. Whether it's reading books, watching educational videos, or talking to people who know more than you do. Remember, this knowledge is power. Fourth, take risks and be bold. Mark Zuckerberg did not play it safe. He dropped out of Harvard, a decision that shocked many people. He invested in Instagram and WhatsApp when some people thought he was taking too big of a risk. He dove into the world of virtual reality when others thought it was too futuristic. Mark wasn't afraid to take these bold risks because he saw things that other people didn't. He trusted his vision. Taking risks doesn't mean being reckless. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and trusting yourself to take that next big leap. If you want to achieve something great, You have to be willing to take risks even when others doubt you. The greatest opportunities often come when you step into the unknown and embrace new challenges with courage. Fifth, lead with purpose and serve others. Mark's goal has always been to connect people, but more importantly, it has been to create a positive impact. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, these platforms were all built with a deeper purpose in mind to bring the world closer together. Mark didn't just build these platforms to make money. He built them to change the way we communicate, to make the world feel more connected and hopefully a little bit better. The most successful people are not those who chase money or fame, but those who lead with purpose. Mark's story teaches us that if you want to succeed in life, you have to find a way to serve others. Whether you are creating a business, working in a community, or building a career, always keep in mind that your success should be tied to the value you create for other people. When you make a positive impact, success will naturally follow. Sixth, be resilient and stay focused. Mark Zuckerberg's success did not happen overnight. He had to overcome many obstacles, including doubts from his friends, his competitors, and even some of his own personal challenges. But no matter what happened, he stayed focused on his goal. He kept moving forward even when it seemed like the world was against him. Resilience is one of the most important traits you can develop. Life is going to throw challenges your way, but staying focused on your goals will help you push through those difficult moments. When things get tough, remember that the best opportunities often come right after the hardest struggles. And finally, number 7, think big and keep pushing for change. Mark Zuckerberg never settled for small goals. From the moment he started Facebook in his dorm room, he dreamed of a global community. He didn't just want to connect his friends at Harvard. He wanted to connect the entire world. And through all the ups and downs, he has continued to think big and push for change. Your own dreams may seem impossible right now, but if you think big, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Don't let small thinking hold you back. Dream big, work hard, and believe in yourself. You have the power to change your life and the world just like Mark did. Mark Zuckerberg's life shows us one of the most powerful truths of mentor. All you can write your own story. You do not have to follow the path that others expect you to take. You can create your own path. Just like Mark, you have the ability to dream, to build, and to impact the world in ways you may have never thought possible. So now it is your turn. What will you do with your life? What is your big dream? I encourage you to take the lessons from Mark's story and make them your own. Believe in yourself, never stop learning, take bold risks, and lead with purpose. The world is waiting for you to make your mark. Thank you for listening to Mark Zuckerberg's incredible story. I hope it has inspired you, motivated you, and reminded you that anything is possible if you never, ever give up. You are capable of greatness, and your story is only just beginning. Keep going, keep believing, and always push toward your dreams.